So I have a lot of concerns about the potential next general election. But of course, we've got to think, when will the next general election be? There are a lot of flashpoints coming up that could really, really signal huge problems for Rishi Sunak and that may cause to have a general election this year. If not certainly, I definitely think there will be one next year. I will be very, very surprised if by the end of next year we have not gone to the polls again. I will be very, very surprised. But what could cause a general election? Well, Rishi Sunak has a lot, and I mean a lot of flashpoints, and his entire ability to govern is basically being maintained by the ability to try and keep the Tory party together and stable. But as many things have shown in the past, even in the past couple of weeks, his entire government is built on very, very, very shaky foundations. No one can deny that. It is a house of cards that could collapse any moment. Take, for example, at the moment, the whole continuing Gavin Williamson controversy. Sunak has come out today and said that he's going to wait for the inquiry into Gavin Williamson, whether he decides to sack him or not. But to be honest, already the evidence seems to be there that yes, this is a sackable offence. Very much all the papers this morning have been very, very much in agreement that Williamson should go. And then you get other problems that this could create for Sunak, because remember, you've still got Suella Braverman, and if Williamson has gotten the sack, then why on earth are you still keeping Suella Braverman in position where she has committed far more serious breaches than Williamson? And I'm not sort of downplaying that the bullying that gone on isn't serious, but when you look at sort of the allegations coming out against Williamson, the sexism, the misogyny he put out. I think he told a member of staff to go kill themselves recently. That's come out, I think, today. And then you look at national security threats, that Suella Braverman is. Don't get me wrong, that's up here with Williamson. But Suella Braverman's probably up here when it comes to the seriousness of the threats. And of course, if she goes, then you're going to really annoy a lot of the Tory right wing, because that's their person who really was put in to get Sunak in the first place, as and crown him as the government, as certainly as PM. So there could be a lot of problems there if she gets the sack. You've then got the problem of the migrant crossing. That is still going to split a lot of Tory MPs, because remember, Priti Patel couldn't get this under control, and she is seen as an abject failure in the Home Office. Braverman hasn't got any more answers than Priti Patel did to try and solve this problem. So ultimately, she will also be seen as a failure of a Home Secretary. So that will also certainly cause more problems for him. We've also got the upcoming budget. How many Tories are going to be satisfied by about what goes on here? You've got a lot of the Green Tories worried about Sunak cutting a lot of the green levies. You've got, again, COP26, where a lot of the Green Tories are trying to sort of really rally round and get a lot of the green proposals back on the menu, because they know that not being green now is a vote loser, and that they will lose votes to the next general election. So they're worried about that. So that's another potential flashpoint for Sunak. You've got Brexit raising its head. Again, the Northern Ireland Protocol. It doesn't matter that there's going to be, by the looks of it, a deal in a couple of weeks. The DUP are still not going to be happy about the fact that there is a sea border between the north of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the rest of the UK. They have publicly said time and time again they ain't going to go back into power sharing until that border is completely gone. So it doesn't matter that there is going to be this deal done, by the looks of it, in a couple of weeks, that is being done by pure negotiations. And as we've said, all this problem about the Northern Ireland Protocol can be sorted. It just means the UK and the EU have to sit down. And it has been the UK's unwillingness to sit down with the EU to do a deal on this that has blocked this for so long. And that seems to be today, at least, progress is being made on that, which in turn could end up upsetting the Brexiteers and also causing them to go and kick out Rishi Sunak. So there is a lot of problems. You've then got, of course, the EU bill. That is very likely to sort of get consigned to the Brexit dustbin. You've got the Northern Ireland Protocol bill, which aims to completely try and strip out for the European Court of Justice and unilaterally try and change the whole Northern Ireland Protocol without sitting down with the EU to make those changes. Now, of course, the Lords very recently have basically amended the heck out of it. So it is no way going to pass with its original intent. The Lords have certainly seen to that, as we covered sort of last week. So that is also going to cause another flashpoint with the Brexiteers. You've got the pension triple lock. A lot of Tories are very, very adamant that Sunak must keep the pension triple lock. But if he doesn't keep that, that will cause, again, more flashpoints for him in this. So at any moment, depending on how many Tories get angry at Rishi Sunak, they may just decide, let's just go for a general election. Screw it. Some will do it out of maybe thinking, well, yeah, I can keep my seat, so let's go for it. Some will do it out of pure spite, just because they don't like Rishi Sunak. Others will do it because they want to take down Rishi Sunak and put in, maybe put in, should we say, a better version of Liz Truss. Someone that will do all those crazy nonsense ideas that Liz Truss wanted to do, but at least a bit more slowly to at least, calm the markets and get away with it. So you can see there are a lot of problems Rishi Sunak is going to face in the next couple of weeks. But and those are just the next couple of weeks he's going to face. There are all kinds of stuff that could just suddenly pop up out of nowhere and become a huge flashpoint for him. So there's that. And then, of course, we get on to the whole point of the video was, what about my concerns for the next general election? And my big concerns are this, is that I worry at the moment there is a lot of anger in the UK, which fair enough. We get it. We understand we're in a really bad situation caused by the Tories. But as I've always said, the only way to sort of, beat the Tories is not to vote for them and vote for a different party. So we've really got to sort of think about and make strides to look at tactical voting. So where you are, making sure that you either vote for, the Lib Dems or Labour to, make sure that you don't put them in. There's all kinds of stuff that we have to sort of really think about next year. And more importantly, we have to get people out, making sure that they are registered to vote and that they go and vote on the day. That being the big, big one, because every year it happens, hundreds of thousands of people register to vote and then don't go out and vote for, well, various reasons. But to be honest, at the next general election, we need to drastically get rid of the Tories. I know there's going to be a lot of people, especially on the left, who don't want to vote for Starmer, but sorry, Buttercup, you've got to suck it up, because the only way we can beat certainly the Tories and get them out of power is sort of to vote Labour or, vote Lib Dem in those various regions. As I've always said, if you really, really want to sort of change this system and make it better, then you need to get on the PR bandwagon, start campaigning, start pushing for for PR to be brought in, because that's the only way you're really, really going to change the system. And as we've said, if you want to sort of do that change and make that change, then you have to win in the current one, or else you haven't got a cat in hell's chance of actually making any changes, because in our system, as it is currently, it is the winner takes all. And I've said it multiple times, I would rather have a Labour government that is in power where I get about, 30, maybe like 40% of what I want, than go for another 4 years of a Tory government where I get absolutely nothing of what I want. So, yeah. So I hope that's sort of done some sort of fun for you. But yeah, those are sort of my concerns sort of before the next election, but also potentially how quickly a general election could really come about. Because Rishi Sunak's position is not as stable as a lot of people seem to think, or at least as he is putting forward. That's certainly one thing. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and of course, we'll see you all next time.